So this is a review of Epiphone. Showing the box here. Sorry about the audio; it wasn't great audio. And so I am basically trying to explain to people the damage when it came in. If you look at the box here, it was delivered by FedEx, so you can see from the damage that FedEx didn't really care too much. And to be honest too, I ordered it from Zounds, and the box wasn't really packaged well. Now here I attempt to almost cut myself with a knife, but luckily I didn't do that. And so if we look here in the package, and of course me with my weak ass can't seem to get the box out, so let's all laugh at me trying to get this box out of a box. And okay, well, it's an Epiphone, and I checked to see how the packaging was, and really there was just a sales slip there from Zounds, where I purchased the product, and one flimsy piece of packing. And so I figured, I guess they figured, well, you know what, you'll have another box, which will have the protection in it, which I hoped. But what it came to find out was that, okay, yeah, you had a case, which is cool because this is the first time I ever purchased a guitar that came with a case and not a gig bag, which was like amazing. So as you can tell, this is the new Epiphone inspired by Gibson series. Pretty sturdy case. I wouldn't say it's one of the the cases that you get from a regular upscale Gibson guitar, but it's a nice case. I could see it actually doing some protection there. And if you look inside the case, wow, I mean, I do like the color. If you were to get the other inspired by Gibson, I think it's the 50s, the 59s, the case is like this Pepto-Bismol pink inside, and I do like this old kind of like golden type of kind of color to it. Real nice. Here I tried to I don't know what I was thinking here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna show it, but then I decided, oh, let me do something smart and actually bring the camera to the guitar. As you can tell, this is the Ivory, or Arctic White, I think it's called, Les Paul Custom, with the traditional Gibson open book headstock. Now, did I buy it because of the open book headstock? Yes, I did. Because I just liked the way it looked, and I was there showing you my other Les Paul Custom, which had the traditional what do you call it? The Epiphone one, when the Kalamazoo headstock. Thank you. Here's the case candy. Just stickers. A lot of stickers. I don't know why. It didn't have any like certificate of authenticity or anything like that. Just stickers and download a app, which was, and then silica. Don't need that. Oh, and here there's a truss rod Allen key and a key that was out of the bag for some reason. Foreshadowing there to the case. Alright, so here we are just going over the headstock and just slowly doing a B-roll of the guitar itself. The frets, and it comes with an ebony board. I mean, you could probably look at all the stats, you could look it up, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But the main reason why I bought this guitar, because of the 498T pickups and the 490R pickups that it had in it. I didn't really care. This come with like a 59 neck, but it's a little bit more slim tapered of a 59. The back is beautiful. The color is amazing, and just to give you an idea, this came from Zounds, and I purchased it as a blemished model. Now, to me, I always think blemish means like, oh, there might be a ding here, there, scratch there, or maybe like miss a paint job that went wrong. But you'll soon see that I guess according to Zounds, blemish means damaged. I, and but yeah. So just going over and viewing the guitar and just kind of seeing what I like and what I don't like about it. So far, I'm not seeing anything that looks. And again, I'm looking for things like blemish. I'm looking for paint scratching. I'm looking for chipping, something like that. So I'm thinking like, how is this a blemished guitar? It's like looks like it just came off of the factory floor. But then here you see the package, a little foreshadowing. I showed you the package. But then I was thinking, well, maybe it came damaged. But if you look at here, you see the knob there, right there. It's a little bent. And then if you look at where the truss rod cover, see how it's a little bent there? Because the truss rod inside was actually sticking out. It couldn't cover it. So I had to go in and actually bang the truss rod cylinder back in with a mallet. All right, well, we'll talk about later. We'll get to what we call a demo of the sound. Alright, as promised, I'm going to give you a overview of the sound. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do the clean tones. My setup is very simple. It's going through a Boss Katana MK2 100, and it's being directly going through my pedal board into a Focusrite 212. So let's do the bridge. The neck pickup first. Knobs on full. now switch to the neck position, and I'm going to put a little bit of dirt on. I'm going to use a soul food, and the gain is going to be at around 10 o'clock. Simple backing track and the Zappa-like feel, and then I'll play along with it, and then you can hear how this guitar sounds with the backing track. So from the sustain perspective, I'm gonna take off all of the pedal board stuff. Just so let me just. So, as you can imagine, this guitar got something outside. Excuse me. This guitar sounds amazingly good. So I will end this and finish up with a little bit of a wrap up, what I think about the guitar, and just a little talking about my experience. All right, I'm back with a little bit of my own experience with the guitar. So this model guitar retails for $12.99. So you're probably looking at like $13.70 probably out the door, depending on where you get it and so forth. I was planning on getting this guitar, and there's two reasons why I purchased this guitar. One was because of the traditional Gibson headstock, which is, I know it's a dumb thing to want to do, but I felt like this is something I could take to a gig and not have to worry about someone supposedly stealing it, because they'll see Epiphone on it instead of like Gibson, so maybe they'll think twice. Secondly, it came with an actual case, which is something I've never gotten before in a guitar. An actual case. I spent maybe a guitar that guitar back there. If you see that Fender, I'll do a review on that soon. That was about roughly $1,400, but I got for half off because it was one of those Christmas sales. And it didn't come with a case. It just came with a gig bag, which is not really a great gig bag either. Like, not like the kind of gig bags you get like in a Les Paul Studio or Paul Reed Smith type of guitar. So my experience purchasing the guitar, I went through Zounds. I was gonna go through Guitar Center and Sweetwater, but I saw one at Zounds, and I know this sounds, well, the decision was basically, I got it for about $200 off. It came out to like $11.99 or something like that, because it was a blemish model. Now, my understanding of blemish is perhaps different than what Zound's understanding of blemish is. So when I think of a blemish model, I think of something like a paint scratching, or a chip, or maybe a fading of the paint or something like that. It's nothing like that's what I think of like blemished. I don't think of blemish as damaged, and this is how the guitar arrived. It arrived with, and you see the pictures, it arrived with the truss rod cover bent, because the reason why it was bent, and if you refer back to the picture, you'll see it. The reason why it was bent is because there was the truss rod, it was like the steel part of it was actually sticking out. It wasn't actually fully inserted in. So that was something I had to fix with basically taking a rubber mallet and banging it back in. Hopefully I didn't do any damage. the neck pickup tone knob was bent, and the bridge volume knob was loose and scratchy. Those I fixed. I eventually had to actually open up the guts and do a little bit of work, and got those things fixed. Another thing that was the input jack. It was very hard to put the plug the guitar jack into. It was easy to take out, but very difficult to plug in. And apparently, this is a known thing with a lot of these Epiphones, and so that was an easy fix. I just had to, take the pieces off and then just kind of bend the pieces a little bit back and forth to get it looser, and then I played around with it, and it finally worked itself better. Another thing too, which I don't know, it's something, but the bridge. It seems like the poles are backwards. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but the poles were like 3 of the poles were facing one way and the other 3 were facing the other way. And I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. I didn't mess with it, but it just did look pretty odd to me. That's all. I felt like all the bass notes, the pole was facing one way, and then all the treble notes, the pole was facing the other way. So that was a little bit troubling for me. But I contacted Zounds, and they were like, well, because it is a blemish model, you accepted whatever, the fact. And I was like, okay, well, I understand. But I wasn't expecting it to be like that. Like, in my opinion, it was not blemished, it was damaged. Now, my experience, obviously, with Zounds is not negative. It was just, it's like, hey, you got to understand from whoever's buying from any reputable company that if they say blemish, keep in mind that it might actually mean damaged. So keep that in mind. So that being said, I was okay. I fixed this. I'm pretty handy with tools and fixing stuff, so I was able to fix all the stuff that was wrong with the guitar, and now it's working, and it's working great. I love it. It sounds great in to my ears. It sounds great. So what are the pros of this guitar? The pro is that the neck is not necessarily a fat 59. It's more of a slim taper. It's not a 60s neck, but it's kind of a slimmer. It's like between a 60 and a 59. I don't know how I can explain that, but it's not a chunky 59 neck. It has an ebony fretboard, which I love ebony fretboards. The fretwork, less to be desired. I had to do a little work on the fretwork. It wasn't, I'm not an amazing luthier, but I got it to the point where it was comfortable enough for me to play. The tuners, not really fond of the kidney bean tuners, but they work really well. I think there are I want to say 17-to-1 ratio. Also, I was concerned about the pickups because I knew I was buying a secondhand, apparently it was shipped to somebody sent it back. And I always worry about these guitars, especially these Epiphones by Gibson. They have real Gibson pickups in them, and it doesn't, a scammer could easily go buy, this, Epiphone by Gibson, take the pickups out, put, fake pickups in. Nobody would know, but I checked the internals. The real pickups were in there, the 490Rs and the 498Ts for the neck and bridge, respectively. And it has also a long neck tenon. You'll see in the pictures that the neck tenon is long. Trying to think what else. I love the paint job. I love everything about it. Now, what are some of there are cons to this. The only con to this guitar is that it is a relatively heavy guitar, but that's kind of the par with most Les Paul style guitars, at least from the Gibson and Epiphone world. But it's not as heavy as my black. You'll see it in the pictures, but my black Epiphone Custom. That one is a hefty son of a gun. It's got to be at least a 9-pounder, while this I think is more around the 8-pound. So you can definitely tell the difference between the two guitars. Overall, if you're looking for a giggable Les Paul and you want that beautiful custom look, I would say get this guitar. It's a really good guitar. It sounds good to my ears, and I think that Zounds is a great company to get your equipment from. As long as you understand that when you buy blemish, that blemish may mean like there's some things that are damaged. Then of course the blemish model was like $200 off the original model. And another thing too that was really, really good is like I got my guitar in 2 days. Like literally, like I paid for it on, I want to say Saturday. Yeah, I paid for it on Saturday and it arrived Tuesday, like New Year's Eve, which is wild. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So the delivery is really quick, and so forth. And of course, those of you who are kind of like balling on a budget like I am, you can do like a payment plan with them where you put a certain percentage down, you pay within 6 months, you have the equipment off. You'll have that equipment. So let's say you're a DJ and you need equipment right away for a wedding, and you can get that equipment delivered and have it ready for you, and then you don't have to worry about stressing about having the money for the upfront costs. You can just pay over time. So other than that, thanks for tuning in and listening to what I had to say about this guitar, and hopefully I have some more reviews on other pieces of equipment and music related stuff